Hello everyone, this is Toby the Galactic Intuitive, and this is our Lionsgate portal message number 11, my personal favorite number, at 11 seconds. I hope you guys are doing well. We're going to follow up from what we were talking about yesterday, because at the time, I think I even mentioned yesterday, I'm not sure what's going on in the astrology, and then I realized this morning, I guess, or maybe last night, I guess it was this morning, that today Mars actually moves out of Virgo and into Libra. And that perfectly goes along with our message yesterday. And interestingly, how at the end of the message, Mars came in. Oh, and I just put the card away. Mars came through in the oracle card draw that I did at the end of the message, and we talked about bringing the divine masculine in, or recognizing how when we're coming from this place of balance, that the divine feminine and divine masculine are running side by side with each other, that they are walking in balanced form. So with Mars in Libra, of course, is represented by the scales in astrology, and it is the archetype of justice. First of all, it is of compromise, and it's an air sign, so it is based in thought and the mental space. It can also be associated with, I'm really getting a strong like Ace of Swords from the tarot type of energy. And I know that can be representative of any of the air signs actually, but it feels very much like justice coming in, and this sword of truth. That sounds very dramatic, but it also follows on the tarot reading that I did for message number 8, and about some truths being revealed over this weekend. So it's really interesting that we have Mars, the planet of action, moving into Libra today during this retrograde period. And Libra is also about relationships and the balance or imbalance within relationships. And so this nod to what we talked about yesterday with the balancing of the feminine and the divine feminine and divine masculine, and also the balancing of the relationship between the me and the you, so the individual and the collective, the inner and the external, as above, so below. Very, very interesting how all of these components are coming into play. But this is exactly why this Lionsgate portal is so incredibly potent and powerful, because we have all of these astral. Now, the Lionsgate portal, as we talked about, it happens every year, and every year we have an alignment of Sirius with our sun in the sign of Leo. This year it is so much more powerful because of all these other astrological alignments that are going on simultaneously and creating this energetic structure for this portal that allows us to move through it differently. It allows us to, and affords us these opportunities, and oftentimes through challenge, to, I was hearing, receive greater awareness, receive it. And yeah, that is a big part of it, right? Because even if it's awareness of self, especially awareness of self, sometimes we can have that awareness, but we're not open to the reception of it. So we're really not fully seeing it or hearing it. So all of these components are coming into play right now to give us the opportunity to receive this awareness, the awareness of self, and then how that is mirrored in our external world. All of a sudden I can't talk. Thank you, Mercury. External world. and then having the opportunity with that retrograde to reflect on that, to I'm hearing renegotiate, which is interesting, but to recalibrate, to rebalance, to reevaluate, and then to respond versus react. So all of these different things coming into play to assist us in moving into this next stage of our ascension and our evolution. And again, we've had this big buildup through the summer of a lot of DNA activations, so much solar activity. Hang on a second. I feel like I'm getting something. There was something that came through the other day when I was thinking about, oh gosh, I had almost forgotten about this. Something I want to share with you guys. This feels like I'm going, I know it kind of seems like I'm going off topic, but I'm not, because when these random things come up, they always then loop back around and we can see how the puzzle pieces go together. But the other one or two, I can't remember if it was at night or if it was early in the morning. I think it was really, really early in the morning. I've been getting up like between 1 and 3 to let my dog out because she's been having some issues. So, so I've been awake at that time regularly. But I was either waking up or I was drifting off, and I can't recall which. This goes back, and the reason why they're saying the reason why I can't recall is because it's actually related to those Super-Chronos segments. This is now like the terminology that they're giving me, where we talked about beyond time and operating outside of the human construct of time. So I guess that's what I'm going to be calling it, Super-Chronos. Anyway, I was either drifting off or I was waking up, and I saw myself, and it was almost like the collective as being represented by this crowd of people. And there was a huge wash of white light that went over everyone. And it wasn't, I'm trying to recall how they explained it to me. Give me just a second. Again, I wasn't anticipating talking about this, but obviously it's important. Let me see. I'll start by saying they did say that this was not the solar flash. It was the activations. And okay, so we've talked about how the cellular and DNA activations are working together, and with the result being, well, one of the results, but kind of like an overriding result being that we are able to not only hold more light through the photonic activation. There was another word, and now I can't remember. Was it acceleration? It might have been acceleration, as well as emit more light. So this wash of white light was, now I've lost it. Give me just a second. It's coming back around. It was simultaneously the activations. They were kind of showing me like this, the wash of white light was symbolized, or was symbolic of all of the activations that we're receiving through this Lionsgate portal. And also the it symbolized the light that we are going to be emitting through the activations and through these upgrades of our cellular structures, and being able to hold and emit more light. So it was really, really fascinating. Okay, so I'm not sure how that plays, why we got interrupted with that. That's okay. That's okay. It must have been important for someone or all of you guys to hear. They're saying that that's one of the main things that is happening for us as we move through this portal. So it is an integration of all. That's where we were talking about. Okay, so it's an integration of a lot of these solar activations we've received, activations from all different places, from the Galactics, from within us. I'm hearing the remembrance that is that are activations, the activations from Mother Earth, the activations of the remembrances of not only the integration of higher self, but also the remembrance of past life wisdom and knowledge and teachings. Interestingly, I was seeing, when I closed my eyes, I was seeing Vesica Pisces. It's the two circles overlapping. That was interesting. I'm not sure why that was coming through, but I'll throw that out there too. Oh, it has something to do with the North Node in Pisces. You know, we're shifting to the North Node in Aquarius next year. So that'll be, it's usually around the equinox. So it should be around March, early April. I mean, I know the equinox is March 20th to 21st, but sometimes it shifts with the new moon. Oh, it shifts with a new moon in Aries. That makes sense. Beginning of the astrological calendar. So that'll happen in early April. There's pretty significant significance, important significance to that time frame for the integration of these activations. We are having, bear with me, I'm channeling some more. We are having an eclipse in Virgo. I think it's on the same day as the fall equinox. I think that's September 20th. Is that the same day? Yeah, I believe it is the same day. So there's, that's playing into this as well. Virgo is associated very much with the physical body and our routines and how we care for ourselves and other. It's a very nurturing and sign, the sign of being of service. And I just saw 1222 when I said that. So there is, if you are feeling, I know I have been feeling a lot of, what am I trying to say? I've been feeling that it's very important for me to take better care of my body, to exercise regularly, to make sure I'm eating the right things. I mean, I know we've been doing this, it's been coming up for a while, but it now is the time where I have felt very strongly urged by my body. You know, I mean, my guides have been saying it, but my body is actually saying, like, I need you to do this. I need you to move. I need more water. I need whatever it is, right? And really listening to that. I mean, maybe your body sometimes, there was another message about this not too long ago where we talked about listening to the body and allowing it to speak, to tell you what it needs. And to not punish it because it looks a certain way or doesn't look a certain way. And so there is an important aspect to this, to the equinox in relation to our relationship with our body, because as we're moving forward with this, our relationship with our physical body is going to become even more important. And this speaks back to what we talked about the other day too, about how, like, this experience of new earth, it happens in the physical body. It's not something, we can't fully experience it if we're only experiencing it from an energetic state. So as we evolve more, it's to allow us to experience it within our physical body, and not just in meditation, not just when we are in really super high frequency activities, but being able to hold this frequency where we're doing the frequency of new earth while we're doing things that maybe we don't associate with high frequencies. So that's going to be really key, because our body has to be able to hold that frequency when our mind maybe is doing things that we associate with the mundane, or even things that we consider to be 3D. So I'm sure we're going to be talking about that more. But where was I going with this? We've gone off on a tangent. The light, holding more light within our cellular structures, emitting more light, the balancing of the divine feminine, divine masculine, Mars and Libra. That's where we were going. So I find it'll be, I think what's coming over this weekend is going to be super fascinating. But again, it is likely going to be, well, this weekend or next week, is likely going to be rather triggering for a large segment of the collective. So, or all of us to some degree, right? Again, I don't think, as long as we're human, we don't get to a point where we are trigger free. It's a matter of being able to recognize that state, that emotional state, and then what do we do after that? It's not about trying to remove the triggers, because that's bypassing. It's just never going to happen, because unless we are placing ourselves into the thing about that is, we talk about living in a false reality and wanting to be in an intentional reality, and one that is without these constructs that have been created for us. If we're trying to move to a place that has no triggers, we're just recreating another false reality. So, one that isn't authentic, one that isn't honest, it's not truthful, one that doesn't honor the polarity that exists upon this planet, and that is integral to being human. That's part of the beauty of it, is being able to experience the extremes. Okay, I think that's enough for today. We're going to do another card. This has been fun. I hope you guys are enjoying the card pulls. I don't know which deck I'm going to use. Y'all don't laugh at my hair. Look at this. It is crazy today. It is so humid. It's been humid. I mean, I'm not complaining. Don't get me wrong. We've had rain for, I don't know, days now. But thank goodness, because last week was like walking out into an oven. So I am not complaining. So what deck we're going to use the Life Soul Vision Oracle. And this is the deck from Romy Weiser. Just gorgeous. Okay. Interesting, we had Solstice showing up on the split there. Always an important point for us. One more, and we'll see what. That wasn't a very good shuffle. Let me do another one. There we go. Okay. All right. Let's see. What do we... Hang on. I feel... My shirt feels weird today. Feels all twisty. Okay. Message number 11. What do we have, please, Spirit, for the collective? Soul Stories, card number 30. Hang on a sec. I will show it to you. Put down these other cards. Oh gosh, the light. There we go. So I mentioned integrating the wisdom of past lives and the remembrance. So that remembrance is super important to the activations too. And it was 1919 as I said that. Very interesting. Look at, there's that white light. Look at that. See the white light right in the middle? It is that white light. Okay, there are a couple of things coming through here. Part of this is that remembrance that I mentioned. I'm gonna hold it down here so y'all can see it. Part of it is the remembrance. I mentioned the remembrance of past lives and the wisdom and the knowledge and the tools and the practices, the rituals that came through that, or that is coming through that to you. And so allowing yourself to be open, this speaks back to the receiving too, allowing yourself to be open to receiving that information and trusting what you're feeling. Being discerning, of course, but trusting your intuition. At this point, I don't want to say should, but at this point, I think y'all have a good hold on understanding what your intuition and when it speaks and what it sounds like and what it feels like, so that you can discern what is your intuition and is what is not. So that's part of this. The other part of this is something we talked about, I don't know when, recently, but we talked about letting go. We talked about our personal stories around who we are. And this is, okay, this light is allowing us to, it's both allowing and a result of us recognizing, remembering, and accepting what the true story of our soul is. Oh, that's beautiful. What the true story of our soul is. And so that is one of maybe the most important part of this Lionsgate portal. Because of course we can choose to accept that and acknowledge it and stand in our power, right? Because that's what allows us to move forward, as we were talking about yesterday, in being the leader, right? Leading by example. If you're not accepting the truth of your soul's story and the truth of who you are, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to lead by example, because of the inner conflict that you will still be holding. Now, I'm not saying this immediately happens, but it does feel like a big leap in that direction. And it may feel like immediately that you're like, yeah, that's who I am. I recognize me now. I love me. I'm amazing. And you're able to express it and stand in that power and move embodied and aligned with the true soul story of who you are. So this is one of the gifts of this portal, again, if we choose to receive it. And at the same time, this is one of the gifts we are giving then too, because when we embody the truth of our soul, the truth of who we are, and we stand in that knowing, unwavering, then it sends that frequency out into the people around us, the environments around us, into the collective. And it creates this it's like it creates space around everyone and everything around us, allowing them the opportunity to then do the same. There's this, I'm seeing it again as a waveform, and it's like it almost serves as a bit of a disruptor in that wave comes through, and it's like, you know, when there are smaller waves, you're at the beach, okay, and you see, or even at the lake, and you see smaller waves, and then this big wave comes through and it like disrupts the smaller waves, right? And so then the smaller waves disappear and all you see is this big wave. This, being in alignment with your soul story, is like that big wave. And the way because it stretches farther out, because it's this larger wave, it's able to be a bit of a disruptor, right? It might only be momentary. It's not necessarily a permanent disruptor for the people around you or the environments around you, but it sends out this frequency of alignment with truth and authenticity and integrity. And so that frequency then disrupts anything that is not in alignment with that. And it creates this space then for others to experience that frequency. And then that allows them to, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, there's a recognition of then what that feels like, what the frequency of authenticity feels like. That's super cool. I love that. They've never given me that kind of representation, or that kind of description of it. So that's really pretty neat. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Soul stories, authenticity, and being in balance with the divine masculine and divine feminine within you. All right. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you all so much. Again, if you haven't yet, if you're watching this on YouTube, or if you're not watching this on YouTube, please be sure to go to the YouTube channel and subscribe so you're notified of future videos that come out, in case you don't catch them on other places where you may see it. I'm also on TikTok, so you can also follow me there. What was I going to say? The 20% off on all the intuitive readings is going on through August the 12th. So the link for that is also in the description box. Please make sure you take advantage of that if you would like some assistance during this time period. And again, you can purchase it with the coupon and not use it until December if you don't want to. But it does have to be purchased before the 13th. I think that's it. I'm sending you guys lots and lots of love. I appreciate you all being here, and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you.